So before we dive into getting into our talk about Jupyter Notebook, we're going to set up our own Python virtual environment on our machine. Now I'm already on a Linux machine here. That's what I do most of my work on. I want to make sure that Python is installed and is indeed ready to go. You can do this on a Mac as well. Let me get out of here. Do this on a Mac as well. Same thing from the terminal. If you're on a Windows machine, it doesn't come loaded with Python, so you're going to have to go to the Python website and download and install Python first. And then you can go into your Windows command line or into PowerShell to do this same exercise. So the first thing I'm going to do is set up a folder. Let's take a look at what we have here. We've got just our basic set of folders and a few other ones that I've added to my environment. I'm going to make a new one, and let's just call it Data Science. Make sure it made there. You can see there's Data Science in the first section. So now we're ready to go ahead and use venv, or virtual environment, to set this up. This comes ready to roll, already installed in later versions of Python 3. In earlier versions than that, you're going to have to go in and actually install with pip a virtual environment module to do that. But like I said, that's old school stuff. We've been in Python 3 for a couple of years now. So let me show you how to do this. So all I'm going to do is invoke Python itself, but I'm not going to go into the interpreter. I'm going to give it an M flag. I'm going to call venv for virtual environment. And then I'm going to put this in my data science folder that I just made, and I'll call it DS1 for that's going to be the name of the actual environment, and it's going to be living in the data science folder itself. So when I hit enter, it's going to take a second. Now if I go into the data science folder itself, you can see I've got DS1 in there. That's the environment. Let's check that out, see what's in there. I've got a bin, an include, a lib folder, a lib64, and then a pyvenv CFG file, configuration file. So this is my actual environment. So I'm almost ready to go. Now, if I want to remake this environment, let's say I've been working in it for a month, right? And I've got it full of all kind of different modules, and I've built some custom stuff in it. I can take this entire folder and I can zip it down and use a requirements file with it and move it to another machine if I want. I don't even have to move the folder. I can just take the requirements file and rebuild it on another machine just like it left this one. So, and it keeps everything, again, right here in one spot. I'm not worried about if I've got, such and such version of a module and it has a dependency that's broken. Where is it at? Where do I have to find it? All these different things, right? So last but not least, two things I have to do. Number one, I've got to actually go in and activate this. So the way I do that, let me get back to our original here. All I have to do is go source, and then I go into the data science folder, and then I go into the actual venv itself, into its bin folder, and I run activate. That's an actual file within the bin folder itself, within the virtual environment. And when I run that, you'll notice now at my terminal, I've got DS1 as my active environment. So now I'm sitting inside of this virtual environment. If I want to get out of it, I just deactivate it. If I can spell it. And that takes me back out to my root, or to my regular environment. I'm going to go back. So you'll notice a couple things. If I do pip freeze, you notice nothing's in it. There's not anything of note as far as actively installed modules or anything like that, right? So I'm going to go ahead and install. You know what? Let me see something. I may have told you wrong because I was just using the regular. No, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and install everything I need to get Jupyter Lab up and running. And all it is pip3 install Jupyter. That's going to start the process of installing everything that's within Jupyter, including Jupyter Notebook, which is what we're going to be using for most of our work in data science in this series. So it's going to take just a second or two. And what's cool is there's a record keeping system in a virtual environment that keeps up with all the dependencies that are needed for this particular virtual environment. So now if I do pip freeze, you can see here's a list of all the things that were just installed. All these different modules that came in that Jupyter Notebook, our Jupyter itself, depends on, right? And all that again is in DS1. So if I want to recreate this, I can just take my requirements file, go out to another machine with Python 3 and above on it, make a new virtual environment with that requirements file, and the exact copy will be made on a different machine. So it's a really good way to sort of keep up with things. And let's just Jupyter. Jupyter Notebook. All right, so it looks like I'll bring this over here. You can see we're up and running with Jupyter Notebook. So that's going to come in the next section. So I can cancel this out for now and shut down the server and get back to my regular command here, command prompt. There we go. Okay, great. See you in future videos where we dive into some data science. Next up will probably be something on Jupyter Notebook. So see you soon.